Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday. So, all right. Well, here's another bit of information that mainstream media, of course, isn't going to tell us about. And this one's kind of important. And I just love how stuff like this just does not get any coverage. China, our greatest friend in the world here, is having a little bit of a problem. And of course, they're not admitting it, but the rest of the world knows. So, Monday afternoon, the U.S. Department of Energy got a letter from a French company that warned of an imminent radiological threat at the Taishan nuclear power plant in Guangdong province. Now, of course, China is saying there's no problem. Go figure. There was no problem at Chernobyl when, the Soviets had the meltdown there. But, for 3 days after it happened, they're like, no, nothing happened. Until all of a sudden there was, radioactive material floating around in the air over Scandinavia. And it was like, okay, finally they come out and admit it. Now, you got to remember how the Communist Party works. Everything is perfect always. Nothing ever goes wrong in the communist mindset. While all the little mice there in Beijing are going, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? The press secretary is up going, everything's cool. Don't worry about it. There's no problem here. Because what's going on is you have the radiation levels rising in Guangdong province. So instead of admitting that there's a problem at the power plant, which this French company has come out and verified, China has just raised the level of what's considered reportable. So it's like, you think about it this way. It's like, okay, if you're 5 feet tall, you're going to drown in 5 feet of water. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll just make it 6 feet of water. You'll still drown, but now you don't have to worry about it until it's 6 feet, even though you're already underwater. So, same kind of thing. Now, of course, what you have is China coming up and saying to the United States, we're not at crisis level or anything. But, of course, the rest of the world kind of worries about this, and, pretty much nobody trusts China. So, you get the French coming up and at least letting the world know that, hey, this is what's going on. Now, I find this extremely interesting, besides the fact that you may have, a nuclear reactor do whatever. I mean, whether it's a Fukushima, whether it's a Chernobyl, whatever, could it be 3 Mile Island? Who knows? All right. But what's going on? But what I find extremely interesting about this is the way, a couple of things actually. First off, the way the media isn't covering it. There's all sorts of coverage today on, the Huffington Post had a great article about Kayleigh McEnany, Trump's last press secretary, how she was covering up all her lies. Really? Okay, because everything she told us was pretty much the truth. But you won't cover this story where the Chinese press secretary is blatantly lying. But, for the Huffington Post, hey, we're so in the bag for the left that, hey, they could have a nuclear meltdown and we'd say, yay, everything's good today. All right, that's your typical, mainstream media there. But the funny part is, we all know about the massive military buildup that the Chinese are doing right now, okay? All over the place. I mean, generals have come out and, told the Department of Defense, told the Pentagon, we need to watch out for what the Chinese are doing. They're building up military. I mean, it's been in the news, telling the citizens, prepare for war, do all this sort of stuff. They've got a nuclear issue right now at the same time that they're coming out and saying that the United States and Russia need to get rid of their nuclear weapons because it's a threat to the world. They're building their nuclear arsenal because, As you look at what's going on with this particular plant and another one, okay, it's reported that these two nuclear reactors that China's got going on, they're producing plutonium that, could be reprocessed, could be used as a fuel source for other nuclear reactors, and of course, just like Iran, they're saying, well, it's, for generating power, but there's no clarity whatsoever if it's going to be used for, creating civilian energy or whether it's going to be used to produce nuclear weapons. Now, this is what I find so funny. China's enriching uranium, enriching plutonium to create nuclear weapons, at the same time telling Russia and the United States that they need to dismantle their nuclear arsenal. Does this sound anything like, obviously on a smaller scale, what the White House is saying? Oh, Joe Civilian, you need to get rid of your ARs, your AKs, your 9mm, your 45 ACPs, whatever it is. At the same time, we're buying up ammunition like crazy. Okay, let's think about this. China wants all the nuclear weapons. They don't want the adversary to have any. Okay. Biden administration wants all the weapons. They don't want the citizenship to have any. Okay. Anybody see a pattern here whatsoever? This is how communism takes over. Okay. Biden's trying to take, the Democrats. Let's just not put potato in as everything here, because we know he's a puppet. He just does what his handlers tell him anyway. Okay. But the Democrat Party wants to disarm the entire population so they can run roughshod through the country and have no resistance. That's on a country level. China wants to do this on a worldwide level. They want the rest of the superpowers, if you will, to disarm, so they're the only one. Can you imagine if the United States and Russia, Biden would probably go, yeah, okay, if you want it, Mr. Jinping, we'll do it. Can you imagine if Russia and the United States decided to dismantle their nuclear arsenal, and China goes, Mr. Biden, Mr. Putin, see this little red button right here? Either you do exactly what I tell you to or push. Okay. Let's not hold this as crazy. That's exactly what China's trying to do. Like I said, on a smaller scale, that's what Biden's trying to do to the civilian population. This is how communism takes over. Okay, this is how any sort of totalitarian dictatorship takes over. They disarm the people, they lie to the people, they do not give the people any information to go on whatsoever, and then they just storm through. Again, take a look at how Hitler ran through Germany. Take a look at how the Bolsheviks ran through Russia. Pick one. It doesn't matter. This is normal. And even go back to Hirohito in Japan during World War II. It's the same way. And what happens? Every time it winds up a lot of dead people in a war. Well, gee, you know what? Told you the other day, China probably wants a war because that's the only thing that's going to save their economy. The Democrats here probably want a war because they know our economy's in a toilet, and every one of their policies just makes it makes the swirl go faster. So this is what they're going to. But the fact that China now potentially has a nuclear accident in the making, and the French are asking the United States to help. Of course, China in no way is letting the United States help. This is what's going to happen. So, is it going to be just like Chernobyl again? Oh, nothing's going on until you have a bunch of Japanese or South Koreans scientists going, why do we have radioactive clouds overhead? Oh, well, we had this little mishap, and that's what's going on. So, guys, pay attention to what's out there. I know a lot of you guys have seen what's going on in Rockton, Illinois with the chemical plant. I can't say that's anything other than an industrial accident. Okay. Same thing with the fire in China. We could talk about the shooting of the grocery store clerk in Atlanta. I mean, there's a whole bunch of little things in the news, and sure, I mean, obviously the fire's not a little thing, but I'm talking to things that I want to tell you about things that directly have to do with prepping and what is going on, and a potential nuclear accident. Not potential. I mean, this is gonna happen. Okay, is something that we need to be aware of. So. That's that. Being Tuesday, for all you new people here, just in case you didn't know, live stream tonight, 8 o'clock. It is an hour long of Q&A, you guys asking questions and me answering them. Next to nothing is off limits. So if you have questions about anything, politics, gardening, prepping, generators, you name it, come join the party at 8 o'clock. I'm answering questions, and God knows there's enough other family members in there that have some great answers too. So hope to see you all there tonight. Have a good Tuesday, guys. We'll see you this evening. Pinball out.